Hi, this is Brian from RelationshipWise,
And hi, this is KTA from I Choose Me.
and today we're going to bring you an important topic.
And the topic is, how well do you know and accept your partner?
So, Katie, what are your views on this topic?
Oh wow, that's a big one. Um, in terms of knowing, I think we really need to figure out if we really know our partner.
Right.
And what we find is that we paint this really cute picture of the partner when we meet somebody, what we want, what the relationship should look like, and we have it all worked out and planned. And that's the picture that we tend to communicate to our partner. So no matter what is happening in the relationship,
Right.
we're just seeing that picture and that picture alone. And as you would now say, from our perspective, from a female perspective, we're seeing that picture. And so when the person is actually showing another side of themselves or another version of themselves, you're like, no,
You don't see it.
no, that's not who I got married to. That's not who I started a relationship with. I want the person I started, and always forgetting that it really was just your picture
All along.
all along. What's your perspective on it?
Well, like accepting your partner, it comes with a lot of phases. So first you initially learn about your partner, and then learning about your partner, you have certain ideas in your head who your partner is, and as time goes on, you begin learning more and more about that person, and you start seeing who that person really is. And at that time, you start having issues with who you know your partner to be, and also who they are actually showing you in terms of actions who they are. You know, that causes a lot of dynamic in the relationship, and I think people need to be more aware of this issue and dynamic in their relationship, so they can start addressing the problem.
But the question is though, do people change?
I think people try to change, but originally, they always say people you always revert back to the mean. So even if somebody change, if they don't change from within, which is kind of hard after having living your experience for so many years,
Yeah.
you know. If you don't change from within, you're always going to have to revert back to who you are at some point. So
So is it that from your all right? So we both, when we're growing up, we have a picture of who we want to get married, who we want to settle down with, who we want to have in our space. We have
Right.
a very pretty picture.
right.
And then when we meet the person, is it that the picture that we painted, we put the picture in front of the person and say, okay, this is a match. And then we start only seeing that even when the person is showing the other versions of themselves. Is it that we only have one version of that person?
Well, the truth is, when you first meet your partner, you develop like a mental picture of who your partner is.
Right.
And as time goes on, you begin experiencing who they really are. But, some people are so caught up in who the, their partner was initially that they don't give themselves a chance to accept the change of their partner as they're telling them who they really are. And I think it's in that acceptance where most of the problem comes about.
Yeah, the struggle to accept.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so true because you already have it. It's like your world is upside down. You had something and it's like somebody just pretty much you had a glass of water and somebody just bounced it out of your hand and
Definitely.
all of it is now on the floor and you're like trying to pull the water together. Literally the water is on the floor and you're just trying to pull the water together and then put it back in the glass.
And that is like the diversion that causes people not to see their relationship for what it really is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's true. And then people evolve. One of the strangest thing that one I have been discovering is that we get so caught up in something should be a certain way that we forget that everything in life evolves and changes, especially
Definitely.
human beings. You from birth, you were born, you became a toddler, you were born a baby, toddler, child, teenager, adult, old, middle age. So your entire human, the whole process of being a human being
Yes.
is about evolving and changing.
Definitely.
But yet still, we want the person when we just meet them to stay the same exact way in that same picture, and you're like,
Yeah, it doesn't
it's
work.
not even, that's just not natural. Now when you talk about something being natural, that's what I'm talking about. That's not natural. Both of us, we're gonna meet new people, we're gonna be exposed in different ways, we change our jobs, we have children, and don't mention when children come in a relationship.
Right.
Then you see, so my take on it is for us to understand that the first thing about knowing is that you have to accept that people change, people evolve,
So true.
life goes through different phases, just like you.
Definitely.
And once you start going through it, it's not just your partner changing, you're
You're
also
changing.
changing. You're
So true.
also putting some new things in the relationship that partner, like what you're saying. You had a nice picture too. So imagine both of us in a relationship, both of us have a picture. And we're looking at the picture, and the picture changing, the picture fading, a lot of things happening, the water spilling on both of us. So what's interesting is that while the water spill,
Right.
you're thinking that it's your water alone spill. But funny enough, the woman's water spill. And so we're both on the floor putting the water together for both of us. So you're doing your water putting together. I am putting the water together to pour it back in the same glass. When the truth is, our relationship no longer fit in that glass.
It needs a new vessel.
It needs a new vessel.
Okay. So, Karlene, we're having a very interesting conversation, but I want to take this conversation a bit further and find out what really causes that problem.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned something about the right syndrome.
Always right syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to expound on what you mean by something, the cause of the problem is based on the right syndrome in the relationship.
Because everybody believes that they're right. So we start off with, and this is the truth. You have lived your life a certain way. You have developed a formula for your life. Whatever you have been doing in your life has worked for you. It has made you successful, even with all the pain and the agony and the failures. You are now able to say, you have perfected the art in this area.
Right.
If it's finance, you can say, if you check me out, I have money, so therefore, whatever I have been doing, my formula works.
Okay.
When you're now in a relationship, it's the same conversation you take.
Yes.
You believe that your formula, because it worked for you, is perfect for the person you're with, and is also perfect for the relationship. Now, why I separate it? You see, we have to always remember what happened in my life. It's two separate people coming together
Right.
in the same
Definitely.
space. So you have what the one person thinks, what the other person thinks, and how they have made life work for them. And we forget that while you made life work as an individual, so when you analyze and you say, but this worked for me, you keep forgetting it worked for you.
Right.
Just like how this person coming into the relationship and say, but this worked for me. So now you have two persons saying, this worked for me, this worked for me.
Yes.
Two separate things.
Two individual people.
Two individuals,
saying
yes.
it's worked for them.
Yes, but guess what we don't do is now say, how does it work for us?
There you go.
So we keep it separate.
Right.
And so in the right syndrome, I'm right because it worked for me. And you're right because it worked for you. And the truth is, you're both right. That's the
That's
truth.
true.
You are both right because from your experience is right. What we have not done is, how do we now make it right for us together? Not as separate individuals. So how do we now make the rules, the same thing that has worked for me, what has worked for you, how do we come together now and say, how does it work for us? What do you think?
You raised some excellent pointers, and You know, you're exactly correct, because what happens based on your concept of the right syndrome is that the two parties feel they're right, and nobody is giving anybody a chance to to prove otherwise. And you're right in saying that you have to now come deal with for us. And that level of vulnerability is what people are not willing to share.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes you really can't blame them, because they probably had some heartaches in the part when they became vulnerable. So, you know, they don't want to go back there. So, you know, if they keep a hard shell, then they won't necessarily have to expose.
Then stay single. That's the point.
Yeah.
If you want to stick to your own gun and be right all the time, then stay single. But once you're entering into a relationship, then that single thing of you always being right can never work. And what you do is you really, you know, if we just and the truth is, you are right. Ryan, you're right.
Karlene, you're right.
Exactly. You are right. However, you're right for you. I'm right for me. What's right for us?
So true.
And that is the question. And you know, this comes up a lot, especially you see it a lot in relationship when you have children.
Yes.
Because that's the time when what you think what's right for you and what you think what's right for the other partner is like, at some point, if we don't figure it out what's right for
gonna
us,
strain.
then the children are going to suffer. And
Yes.
that's a part of the problem that we need to fix. Our children should not be suffering because we are caught up in a world. We can't keep messing our children up.
Definitely.
And if we stop and think about our kids, some of the things that we do in our relationship, and some of the way how we hold on to things, and we try to fight so many about some things that are just different perspectives.
Right.
You are right. Where you are right now, it's because of the rules and guidance that you have had for your
Your
life.
past history. Yes.
And it has worked for you.
Yes.
And what I have been doing for my life has worked for me.
That's correct.
And I'm proud and happy. But we must reach a stage where what works for us.
All right, Katie. I really enjoyed that discussion.
Me too.
And viewers, if you really enjoyed this video and you'd like to hear our views on this and other topics, please check out the links in the description below. And always remember to be relationship wise.
And also, put your comments. What do you want us to talk about? We have male perspective, female perspective. Let's see. We're trying to make it as balanced as possible. Too many times we have the imbalance where it's one person's side and the other person's side. Let's see if we can just make it balanced and we do it together.
Yes.
Again, as we said, together is better. It's not about me, it's not about you, it's about us.
It's about us.
So let's do this.
Great.
All right?